For over 2,000 years, Native Americans of the Southwest have prayed to the Great Spirits to bless their world with good weather, abundant game, and a bountiful harvest. The Pueblo people believe that each year, just after the winter solstice, beings known as Kachinas bring them messages from these spirits, walking upon the earth to interact with the Pueblo people. At the end of the planting season, they return to the spirit world. Since each tribe may have their own distinct Kachinas, there is thought to be over 400 of them. Kachina dolls' history begins with the Hopi people, who were first to create Kachina dolls as a way to teach children about Kachinas. During the season when the Kachinas visit the visible world, Hopi men dress in Kachina costumes to perform dances and ceremonies in order to interact with the spiritual beings. If the rituals are properly performed, the Kachinas may communicate through the men who betray them, or may appear to the tribe in clouds or mist. Only men are allowed to personify the Kachinas. To educate the rest of the tribe about Kachinas, men carve dolls, traditionally from a single piece of cottonwood root, so that the whole tribe can experience a connection. The Kachina spirits live in the San Francisco Peaks and other mountains which surround the 3 Arizona mesas that are the ancestral home of the Hopi Shinumu, the peaceful people. Each winter solstice, the Kachina spirits come to the villages for the bean dance ceremony. They are not worshipped, but are allies of the Hopi that connect them with the forces of nature and take their petitions to the Creator. This understanding is at the heart of the Kachina doll's meaning. Hopi men personify the spirits in sacred ceremonies and act as intermediaries between the people and the spirit world. They dress in traditional regalia to depict the individual spirit. While participating in the ceremony, the man's personal identity becomes the Kachina he represents. The Kachina spirits dance and sing in ancient rituals. They also provide gifts. The prayers of the Hopi people for sun and rain, good harvest, and successful hunting are conveyed through these ceremonies. Ceremonies continue until mid-July, and then the Kachina spirits return to their mountains for a well-earned rest. This is celebrated with the going home ceremony, called the Ninman. The spirits will be back in December. The Kachina dolls' meanings represent various deities, animals, ancestors, or natural elements. Before each dance, Hopi men carve Kachina dolls from cottonwood. Each doll depicts a particular spirit that will participate in the dance. There are over 200 different Kachina spirits honored in these ceremonies. Kachina dolls are given to Hopi girls so they will remember the Kachina spirits and come to understand their role in Hopi life. Following the ceremony, the Kachina dolls are displayed on the walls of the Pueblo. They help village children to learn about the characteristics of each Kachina spirit. No word exists in the Hopi language that denotes religion, but this is the English word that comes closest to expressing the importance of ritual in Hopi life. 4 basic types of Kachina dolls are made. Puskwatihu are made for infants and are simple flat figures with enough features so the dolls can be identified. Putstihu Tawaila have flat bodies but 3-dimensional faces. These dolls are usually given to toddlers. Muring Putihu are given to infant girls. These dolls have carved faces and bodies in the shape of cylinders. Titu are what most people think of as Kachina dolls. They are the fully developed figures given to Hopi girls ages 2 and up at the ceremonies. Some of the individual spirits are Crow Mother, who brings with her a basket of sprouts. This is a symbol of the germination of seeds during winter. Hemis Kachina wears a mask that shows fertility symbols. He shakes a rattle to depict the sound of rain. Masao rules over all the earth and the underworld. This spirit is both respected and feared. He controls the arrival of the other Kachina spirits. Puchkov Maktaka is also called the Scorpion. He is a comic figure who runs races during the ceremonies. He carries a stick in each hand and sometimes throws a stick at a competitor who runs ahead of him. Tawa, or Sun Kachina, symbolizes abundance and life. He comes during the solstice to beckon the sun's return. Photographs of Kachina dolls date back to the 1800s, during the early exploration of the West, evident in both Hopi and Zuni tribes. The dolls were not used as toys, but rather were hung from walls or displayed on the floor. The dolls were passed down from generation to generation, staying with the tribes for hundreds of years. It was not until the late 1800s and early 1900s that they began to be sold in the marketplace, and Native Americans began to create Kachina dolls specifically to be sold outside the tribe. Some of today's Hopi people see Kachina dolls as a bridge between Hopis and non-Hopis. The Navajo people began making their own Kachina dolls in the 20th century, adding their own decorative elements, including beads and turquoise. Today, Kachina dolls' history continues as both old and new are perceived as one of the most collectible Native American crafts on the market. You can find these dolls practically anywhere, from gift shops to websites. You can even buy one from Amazon. Like many other Native American symbols or practices, Kachina dolls have been marketed and sold to people who desire a small piece of Native spirituality and tranquility. Their true nature and use are practically lost in today's world.